All right, now let's forget about this COVID stuff. Let's talk about outsourcing right now, some outsourcing and technology. And tell me some of the things that you outsource right now. Let's start with you, Liz.
We outsource our re-invoicing. That's the first thing we started outsourcing, and now our accounts payable is outsourced as well. Those are the two that we're focusing on at this time.
Okay, and are you doing this through virtual assistants or?
Yes.
So let's make this topic about outsourcing and virtual assistants. Who of you are using VAs and outsourcing right now and right on the panel? Okay, we got Liz. Okay, so pretty much everybody. What would you say works the best with outsourcing, and what have you outsourced that seems to be a little bit of a challenge? Just pick it up anyway.
We outsource our inspections that we love.
Right.
That's not a challenge.
Site Pros is who we use.
Yeah.
And we have been doing that, I'm going to say 5 years, 6 years. We've been doing it for a long time. And that was the biggest thing that I thought the greatest, because every manager, we have them go videotape or take pictures. This one would take 3, this one would take, a diatribe, and it was so all over the place. And now it's consistent across the board. We don't have to worry about it. I know when somebody moves out or a renewal or whatever the case may be, they're all going to be consistent, and we can compare year by year. That was huge for us.
Yeah, well, actually, let's hold off on the inspections, because that's actually a different topic. But what other things have you found that, like, I don't know anything about VAs. I don't use VAs. I don't know anything about them. I'm scared of them. What have you done using a VA where you said, oh, wow, I wish I did this 5 years ago? Is there anything that you have found has really worked good?
So, Harry, in our business, we kind of have a saying that we don't want the dollar person doing the nickel job. So we try to look at our processes and say, okay, this rote task and data entry task can be done if we have a solid process in place by someone that isn't in the office and that can learn it. One of the things that we've learned over time, we've been using a payables service to do all of our payables for probably 7 or 8 years, excuse me. And then we brought on an admin about 3 years ago, and then a bookkeeping assistant just in the last year, maintenance coordinator assistant in the last year. Is if you have to have the right person in the right seat. What I've found is that it's not just getting a VA and dropping them in there and making them good. They're not necessarily always going to be good at what you have them doing. So it's important to do the screening or the interviewing and working with a company that does the screening and being really precise on what skill set you're looking for when you're hiring your VAs. If I had to start my company over, I would have started with VAs and not waited as long as we did. At the time we started our company, they weren't really around that I knew of. But had we known about them sooner, I would have brought them on sooner. And then you bring on the higher level employees or people in your team that, the dollar people doing the dollar jobs is kind of how we look at it. So just kind of how we narrowed it down. And we've been using them for years and constantly looking for ways to improve in that area.
What about everyone else on the panel? Any of you using VAs for anything else, if you don't mind?
Sure. We use them to do a lot of the stuff on our, property promotion. So they soak up all the photos, they put it on the different websites, they build a video, they put it out to YouTube, they optimize all that good stuff. So that's all kind of to Kelly's point. That's all just repeat, kind of mindless, just busy work, and they're able to do it relatively fast for a very economic price. So why not?
Let me ask this question. How would you find, if somebody was thinking about hiring a VA, where would they go? I've seen a number of companies on the different groups on Facebook. Where would you go to start? How would you even know how to start if you were going to get a VA?
Yeah.
So many.
I just recently brought on a VA for the first time about 5 months ago. And like you, I was very skeptical. I was very afraid, like, what am I going to give them? Or, what if they make a mistake? Things like that. So I went out to the mastermind group, the NARPA mastermind group, and I asked who's using them and what are you using them for? And I got an overwhelming amount of people saying, try this company, try that company. And I had someone reach out to me, and I'll show you because I keep it right here on my desk. They sent me, and I kind of covered the name, but I don't know. Oh,
we can't see it.
There's a white screen.
No.
Tia, you muted yourself.
Yeah, we see. Yeah, you muted yourself, Tia.
Okay, they sent me this list. I've got technical difficulties over here of 79 things that the person can do for me. And I went through and highlighted everything that I was actually willing to let go of and give to them, and realized that there was a lot more they could do for me than I thought. And I tell people now, hiring a VA was possibly the smartest thing I've ever done in business in 17 years. If I could have done it 10 years ago, I would have. I was just too afraid.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't realize it, but I'm her VA, so I'm back here just like raking it in.
Actually, believe it or not, my VA is on the call right now. I'm not going to tell you which one of the attendees it is, but I am talking great about her, but I'm hoping she picks up something and learns something during the call.
Well, and I think too, Harry, like those of us that are using them, sometimes you have to go through one or two to get the right person on the right seat. And that's one of the nice things about it is if you use a company that does it for you, you can just call them and say, hey, this isn't the fit that we were looking for, we thought was going to happen. Can we, work on someone else with a little bit more here and a little less there or whatever. And I love it. I love our VAs, and I love the people. The work they do is so valuable, although it, like Mario said, it is rote sometimes, but it's just valuable.
I think you need to treat them also like they are a member of your team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a big piece. Other than it's some abstract thing over here, they really are a part of that, and you need to put them on your Zoom calls and your meetings and those different things, and maybe bonuses or whatever you do. But that piece is very important.
I agree 100% with that, Kim. We had a VA, and we had to kind of switch over to a different one within the company. And the next one we brought into the Zoom calls, we brought into the team meetings, and then it just meshed so much better, and so much more productivity happens.
Yeah.
We've had one VA for, it'll be about 3 years here, and until she has been great. When we started working from home and started doing more Zoom meetings and calls, and we all were remote, she just blossomed, and just her whole attitude changed, and it's been really great to see that. That's one of the benefits of all of us working from home. We're kind of all on the same playing field as she is, and it's been really a benefit. So. Yeah,
I've resisted the VA, and I asked my staff what they thought a VA can do, and that, of course, went over like a rock. I'm in that. I'm one of those people who has fear of the whole VA thing. And I probably have wasted a lot of money not having a VA for